let's get into the second part of our class. Today, we are going to look at Master Dogen's life a little bit and then talk about his teachings, maybe one or two as time permits. For those of you who are new to Master Dogen, he was born in Japan some 800 years before. He is the founder of Soto Zen. It's a school of Zen, very popular in Japan. Very powerful, I would say. When I say powerful, there are many different schools of Zen in Japan, as well as in China and Korea. When I say powerful, its influence among the serious practitioners of Zen is very high. He started his style of Zen after being practicing another school of Zen, which is more popular as well, called Tendai. Those of you from China and Singapore may know about this form of Zen. When we went to Hong Kong, there's a transit. I think some of you might have seen that huge Buddha it's a Tendai Buddha in Hong Kong. You have to go up on a few hills to reach there. It's a beautiful trip. That was a time when Master Dogen was there, and Tendai was very popular during the time in Japan. He was practicing Buddhism from them, but he couldn't get the answer what he was looking for. His basic question was, if you say all of us have the same original nature of Buddha, why should we practice meditation? Right? It's a common sense question. If I say to you, there's no difference between you and me, because the nature, the original nature, whatever name you want to give it, is the same among ourselves, without being the difference of being a man or woman or an animal or black or white, whatever the differences are. Why should we practice meditation? This was his fundamental question, which Tendai school of Buddhism was unable to answer. So therefore, he thought, I want to find the answer to this fundamental question. So he took a journey to the origin country, which is China. Of course, it came from India, but for Dogen, it's 1200 years around that time. So he wanted to go to China and then learn the real Zen Buddhism. At that time in Japan, they were started to form a lot of new schools and thoughts around this idea. Some of the schools became totally cut off from the central teaching of Zen. So therefore, he wanted to find this for himself. So he visited China. He spent a few years, and then he was learning the original form of Zen from the 13th patriarch of Zen in China, and then he came back. When he came back to Japan, he started teaching this form of Buddhism, which is the Zen Buddhism. And his understanding of Zen is very, very fundamental. He wanted to see that there is no difference between practice and the final goal, which we call as enlightenment. So his school of Zen is called Soto Buddhism. And then he started, there was a conflict between all these schools of Zen Buddhism. So he started his own school. So this is basically, you need to know about this great master. He lived for a very short time. And then even today, Soto Buddhism is very popular. As soon as you hear this word sitting meditation, we call this as sitting meditation in English. And the same word they use in Japan is zazen. The zazen is simply means sitting meditation. In this form of Zen, Dogen says, you don't have to have even a picture of Buddha or an idol of Buddha to worship. If you go to the Tendai style of Buddhism, as we talked about this huge Buddha statue, Dogen says, you don't need a statue or an idol of Buddha. You don't even have to have a picture of Buddha. You don't have to burn incense in front of your Buddha. You don't even have to study all the sutras. Remember, the traditional form of Buddhism has tons and tons of sutras written by the many masters and told by Buddha. There are tons of sutras available, both in Sanskrit, Pali, Chinese, and everything translated in other languages. Master Dogen says, you don't have to study all those scriptures. So what do I do? As a practitioner, what do I do? You get rid of your Buddha, you get rid of your incense, you get rid of all the scriptures. What do I do? He goes to the origin of Buddha's teaching, which is meditation. He removed all the clutter which grown over a period of time. And then he wants to go to the core of the Zen teaching, the Buddha's mind, which is nothing but meditation. Yes, Buddha taught for a long time. He taught many disciples. He talked about so many things. But the wisdom, the enlightenment, he was able to attain through the meditation. So Master Dogen's teaching is simply this: focus on your meditation. Nothing else is needed. The Soto school is still existing in Japan. If you happen to go and visit them, if you go to their monastery, you won't see all of these paraphernalia of Buddhism in that temple, in that monastery. No temple, right? All you can do is go and sit in meditation, and that is what you have to do, nothing more. When it comes to meditation, again, he is such a master that he wants to practice what he teaches. When you talk about the sitting meditation, what do I do in sitting meditation? He starts giving you all the instructions on how to do meditation. He is saying there is no goal in meditation. You just sit there, and slowly, if you are able to you get rid of your body and your mind, not only your mind, the minds of others and the world. Basically, he is saying the subjectivity of yourself and the objectivity of others. And then even the desire for enlightenment, he says, drop them. You drop all of this and you sit there being aware of what it is, what the reality is. So that is enlightenment. In a way, that exactly is the state what Buddha is talking about. So therefore, his teaching is very simple. You just sit in meditation and you can realize what Buddha has realized. Why he didn't talk about any meditation technique? The reason is very simple. Let's say, for example, I want you to draw a picture, right? Let's say I'm asking you to draw a picture of maybe a sun. I can give you a piece of paper to each one of you. And then I can also give you some brushes and paints. And then I can give you a picture of a sun, a sample picture. I want the sun to be like this, maybe a simple circle with some colors on it. I can show that. And then I can tell you how to draw a picture, draw a circle, and then paint with yellow or red, different shades of yellow and orange and all that. And I have given you the technique of drawing. I have given you the tools for you to paint. Now I'm asking you to paint. What you do, each one of you is going to follow the instructions because you need the tools, right? And you need to know what you're going to do. And then you also know what the end product is about, right? With all of this, each one of you is going to draw a picture of the sun. What is the outcome? Each one of you will have your own sun, right? The sun, what you draw on that piece of paper is your own. Each one is going to be different. None of them is going to be the same. Even if there are 100 people, 1,000 people, or 100,000 people, each one of us are going to draw the same picture in different ways. So let us consider this as an analogy for meditation. If I give the instructions on how to meditate, and then you can go ahead and do that, right? So what is the difference? The difference is in the experience. Let's say, depending on your state of mind, let's say you are in that state of mind where there is no restriction of your own self, where your mind is totally liberated, where you don't have any attachment to your own self. And then when you draw that picture and when you see that output of that picture of the sun, there is a quality which nobody can touch it. Nobody can match that outcome. I'm not talking about the painting. Your mind is going to be reflected in that beautiful picture of the sun. Some of you may not even have to draw that sun. An empty paper can reflect your mind. So therefore, if I give you a technique of meditation and ask you to do meditation, yes, all of us go through this process of learning and practicing meditation. And then at the end, each one of us have a different experience. But as per Master Dogen's teaching, it is not going to help. At the end, it all comes to how your state of mind is. If you have that state of mind, you don't have to practice. As an extent, if you extend this teaching, it goes a little bit further. I think so far you are with me, right? Okay. So now let us take it a little bit further. Let us extend this teaching. When I say there is no method for meditation, when I ask you to just simply sit there, that's all you have to do, even without having the desire to meditate. What is the end result, right? We all know the end result of any meditation, of our kind of meditation, is enlightenment. Master Dogen says, the practice, what we call as practice, right? You get up early in the morning, you find a nice spot to sit, you make sure there is no sound, and then you meditate for 20 minutes, and you do that every day. This is a practice. The practice, as you do for so many years, the end result is enlightenment, the ultimate reality. Your awareness, your realization of the ultimate reality as it is the result. And you go step by step to reach there. But as per Master Dogen's teaching, your very practice of sitting meditation is your enlightenment. There is no end goal. There is no difference between your practice and the enlightenment. You don't have to strive. You don't have to put effort to go from point A to point B. We all think that meditation is all about starting from point A. Somebody who don't have any motivation to meditate, somebody who you think that I don't have time to meditate, with all that excuses, we start with point A, and then slowly you progress, you find some time, you got some motivation, you are doing meditation more and more and more. At some point, you are able to meditate for hours together, days together, and you are completely changed the person, the world around you changed, you have changed, and suddenly the world becomes a beautiful place to live in. Everything is happening as per your wishes. The things are so beautiful. And then you reach the state of enlightenment, a state where you are completely free of all the sufferings, right? This is where we want to go to. But there is no journey. Because if you think about the fundamental question raised by Master Dogen, if I have the same nature of Buddha, why should I meditate to get to that state? This was his fundamental question. The answer to that is here. There is no difference between your practice and the enlightenment. You don't have to practice so much to reach there. If you can sit right now, today, you don't have to even wait for tomorrow. If you can sit right now, if you can focus on your body and you be here and be comfortable in that sitting, all your self-associated thoughts and all those things are not going to bother you. I heard many students talking about this, and we all know that, right? There's a lot of distraction and thinking about this, that, and all that. It's all going on in my mind. How can I meditate? If you can sit right now without those botheration, that's why during the meditation I gave this as a tip. That is an indication that your attachment is so much to your own self, your family, and all the things you do. But instead, if you can sit here right now and be here and be aware of this body and your own mind and the environment right here, that state can be achieved right now. You don't have to wait for so many years. I'm not saying that this is something not anybody cannot do. I've seen people doing this. This is my own experience as well. So you don't have to make any effort. Yes, of course, in the initial stages, there are a lot of distractions. As you learn more about the teachings, more understanding, now you can be in a state that you can simply sit and be in that state of enlightenment right now. And you don't have to wait. As a corollary to this, let us say, I want to strive. I want to make sure I'm putting my effort to get to that goal, because we have been taught like that, right? We have been taught by the society, by the people around us, by the TV, by the movies, that you have to put some effort to reach something, to get something. That's what being taught to us. But have to make that effort. In fact, if you are putting a lot of effort in sitting meditation, let's say, for example, you are not able to find some time, but you are going to make some time and sit, and your body is paining, and you are forcing yourself to ignore the pain and then sit and meditate. You're making some effort. I want to meditate today. I want to get enlightenment today. I'm not going to get up from this place for the next 30 minutes until I've done my meditation. If you make this effort to meditate, that itself is a wrong understanding of Zen. This means your understanding of Zen is totally wrong. When I say wrong, it's not going to lead you anywhere. Of course, there are many other places where they teach you this kind of meditation, that you have to strive, you have to work hard, right? Here, if you are putting yourself in that situation, when you are working hard, when you are making some effort, that itself means you haven't understood the teachings of Zen. You haven't got what Buddha has taught us. When you put effort, it simply means you are strengthening your identity of your ego. My ego as this person, I want to strive and get somewhere. You are making that I too much strong for yourself. And if you're going to move in meditation with this strong identity, you're not going to make any progress, because the very idea is to remove this self. Only when you are out of this self, you're going to be free from all the sufferings. Remember, Buddha's fundamental teaching is all about this. You have to come out of all this suffering. The nirvana he talked about is coming out of all these sufferings. Why we are suffering today? The reason is very simple. Our identity with our own self. Our identity is so strong. We think it's going to be the permanent way of living. Everything is going to be permanent. We don't have a good understanding of what is impermanence. Things change. Every moment it changes. We get attached to it. And if you can get this idea straight, that nothing is going to remain the same all the time. It keeps changing. The only thing is we are stuck at some point. We are stuck in one point in time. We are stuck in one way of looking at someone, and we are stuck there. But whereas the world keeps moving and you don't know where it is moving, right? Particularly today, in today's world. So if you have this right understanding that the enlightenment is not somewhere in the future, it is right here. If I can simply get out of myself, if I can just free myself, I don't have to suffer this much. My attachment to the self is causing me all the suffering. You get rid of all of that. You don't have to wait. You don't have to do some practice. You just get rid of them, because it's all in your mind. And you can sit here, simply being here, you can reach to that state of enlightenment. Even if it is not for a very long time, you can achieve it right today.